Hey guys, and welcome to Ask Ash episode 2. So I am Ashley Silva, at Ashley Brittany on all social media, and this is my second, episode of Ask Ash. I started it last summer and then I never got back to it, but 2021 is all about being consistent. So we are going to be really consistent on this moving forward. So we're going to jump right into the questions of the week. I'm going to probably try to do about 2 or 3 every week. So keep your questions coming. You can always DM me at Ashley Brittany, or you can email me at funtimemoms@gmail.com. So the first question is, how do you balance everything? Which I feel like is always a hugely asked question. And it's so layered, so it's really hard to answer it when I don't have more context. So I am a mom, I'm a wife right now. I also am juggling 2 businesses, funtimemoms.com, which is a community for non-perfect moms, for moms who like to still have mom time, who are trying not to lose themselves or trying to refine themselves after motherhood or marriage. And we have a podcast, we have clothing, we have merchandise, and all of those things. And then I'm trying to grow that brand. And then recently I launched fashionasher.com, which is a online clothing boutique for tween girls between the ages of 5 and 12, which the muse behind that is my daughter, Ashton. And on top of that, I am currently writing a book, which I'm very excited about, and I am pumping out merchandise like every day. I have so many ideas and so many thoughts and so many things I want to do, so I'm constantly busy with that. But outside of that, I'm a mom. Like I said, I have my daughter Ashton, I have my son Antonio, who's 13. I'm a virtual homeschool mom. I'm a wife. We've been married for almost 12 years now, so it's a lot. So balancing being a mom, being a wife, and being an entrepreneur of several businesses, I don't want to say this wrong. Balance is not really, it's not real. So what I say that is, if you are trying to do everything for everything at the same exact time, something is going to fail. There just are not enough hours in the day. There are not enough brain cells going at one time. Like, it's just really impossible. So what I've learned to do more recently is how to pace everything. I'm a stickler for time. So I realized probably just this past month, like, I need to really put myself on a time schedule, which has been a little hard because the kids are home. But I know that they have class from boom. So I set up my day now like a normal work day. And as an entrepreneur, shit always comes up at another time. But things that I know I have to get done, I make sure that I plan them out between this time and this time. I set alarms in my phone saying, okay, you need to take a break. I set alarms, saying that your day is over. So I won't keep checking my email. After like 5 or 6 o'clock, I don't check my email. I don't check the emails over the weekend for orders or anything like that. We have business hours. These are my business hours. And I had to get to that space because if I was literally stuck in my office room for 14, 16, 17 hours a day. Now, as I said, I'm a very creative person, so my brain is always going and always working. So I'm always jotting down ideas. And with me writing my book, I'm always writing and jotting down stuff. But things that I know that I have to do, like I have to update my website, I have to send orders out, I have to package, I have to do, those things. I make sure that I get those things done between my work hours. So that, once work is done, my husband's usually done with his show around 7. Now it's family time, so I still make sure that I'm watching movies with my kids, and we're having dinner together. I was about to say that I'm cooking, but I don't be cooking every day, guys. That's another thing. Lighten your load. lighten your load. That's another way to balance. Lighten your load. Don't feel like you have to wash clothes every day and put the clothes away right away and make dinner every day. Make dinner this day, this day, this day, this day, this day, this day. And the kids can eat leftovers twice a week. We have takeout on the weekends. We make frozen pizzas at home. You know, I feel no need. So this is probably the best advice that I have. I feel no need to overextend myself and burn myself out to prove that I'm a great mom or a great wife or a great businesswoman. I feel no need. So just pace yourself through it. So that's my best answer for question number 1. Question number 2 is kind of a piggyback. This is from a different person, but it's kind of similar to question number 1. Any advice on juggling everything? I feel like I'm always failing at something. So I think that kind of goes back to what I just said, making sure that, you know, you're pacing yourself. Because like I said, if you're trying to do everything at one time, something is going to get the short end of the stick. And make sure the thing that's getting the short end of the stick is not you. Next question for this week is, why aren't you on Real Housewives of Potomac? I get asked that often, or I get, you know, told like I should be on there. Long story medium, I guess, is before the show ever aired, I was in contract to do another reality show that never really made it anyway. I was under contract with them for 2 years, but the show never happened. And then right before Housewives of Potomac came on, I was interviewed, and basically they didn't want me. And then they interviewed me again a couple of years later, and they still don't want me. So I don't know. I guess I'm not the type of person that they're looking for. I'm married, I have a nice home, I have an actual husband. We own our home. You know, I have beautiful children. I think I'm pretty cute. But they don't want me, child. So that's long story short. They've interviewed me 3 times. Not twice, 3 times. And that's it. They don't want me. That's all I got. Okay, another question for me personally is, are you still in school for your degree? I am not. I am a serial college dropout-outer, and I've realized that college isn't for me. I went to trade school for broadcasting straight out of high school. Well, a couple of months after I graduated high school. And then in my 20s, I went back to school for fashion merchandising. I also went to school for makeup artistry and got my cosmetology license in that in my 20s. I went to school for fashion merchandising in my 20s. And I recently went back a couple of years ago for psychology because I decided I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be Dr. Ashley. But when COVID hit, we had to go on virtual learning, and virtual learning is just not for me. And right before COVID hit, I remember like having a talk with God, because if you follow me, I tell you all the time, me and God, that's my G. Like we talk like friends. I remember saying to him, like, should I be doing this? Should I be, going to school for psychology? And I've never liked to do online school. So when online school, when it was mandatory, I felt like that was my answer from God. What is it? I'm just answering questions. You just want to see it? Can I have kiss for good luck? Yeah, let me for dinner. I just order food. So no, I'm not still in school, but I think that school is amazing. I love to learn, so I'm going to keep educating myself. I've learned so much over the pandemic that has helped me business-wise, from reading, from research, from following people, from getting information from them. So I think that that's more of my field of education. I'm a hands-on person, and I'm a creative. So I don't think I'm going to go back to college. I don't think I'll be going back to school. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe in 10 years from now, I'll want to be Dr. Ashley again. Okay, our last question for the day is Advice on getting out of your own head and trying something new. I think we hold ourselves back so often because of fear. So if we, fear's real. We all are afraid of, taking chances and taking risks because we don't know the outcome. But that's the beauty of life. One of the beautiful things about life is that we don't really know the outcome. And if you feel like, if you're at the space where you feel like it is time for you to make a change, you already know that. You just have to do it. You have to put that one foot in front of the other and do it. So I would say that that's my biggest advice, is just do it. With me, with starting, so like I said, I was in school for fashion, and it was right after, Smooth was probably about 2 years old. So it was like 2009, I was in school for fashion. And one of my projects was, we had to make a store model. And I made a store model, and my store was so cute. And in my mind, I knew exactly how I wanted my store to be. I wanted it to be in Georgetown, DC. I even went to look at a space. I got the price for it. It was like $12 million because you had to buy it. And I was like, yeah, I ain't got $12 million. But, so in the back of my mind, I always knew I wanted to do something in fashion. But I would always be like, everybody got an Insta boutique. Everybody, Instagram is selling clothes, things like that. So a couple of years ago, I decided, I was like, maybe I'll make a store for Ashton when she's a little older, when she starts really getting, if she got into like fashion and clothes and stuff. And, over the past like 2 years, she's really shown an interest in like clothes and planning makeup and playing dress up and things like that. And literally over the pandemic, one night we went to Virginia Beach on like a little mini vacation, and I remember just being in the room, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy the domain, I'm gonna apply for my LLC. I literally did everything on the computer that night, and literally it was born. I picked a launch date, and for me, what works for me is if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So when I picked my launch date, I made a flyer, and I want to say this was like, it was summer, so it might have been like July, August. I feel like it was August, right before the kids had to go, school was starting up again virtually. And I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 2 months, because I feel like if I would have given myself like 6-7 months, or said a year from now, I would have never got to it. I gave myself a very short time frame. And I did it, and I posted like, fashionashton.com will be launching, blah, blah, blah date. When we got home from that trip, I literally started researching vendors, started buying from vendors, getting different clothing. I called out my friends and our family who, we wanted like Ashton's little friends and her cousins to be in the photo shoot. And I booked a photographer, and I just did it, because that's what you have to do. You have to get out of your own way. And that's my biggest thing. Get the fuck out your own way. Nobody's holding you back but you. So thank you guys for your questions today. Make sure you keep them coming. I'm going to make sure that I am updating weekly. As I said, you guys can find me, of course, at Funtime Moms on Instagram, but my personal page is at Ashley Brittany, and you can DM me with your Ask Ashley questions. I'll also be posting pretty often on my page for you guys to submit questions, or if you want to submit them via email, you can email me at funtimemoms@gmail.com. See you guys next week.